Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Alton, and with me as always is Isaiah, the Urban Ninja.
For a good preview today, a great show.
And this is Show and Tell. Well, folks, I don't know if you're like me, but there are a lot of things that I would love to see under the tree this Christmas. And my spouse doesn't know anything about watches, doesn't listen when I talk about watches, and doesn't care at all about watches. So she has no idea what I might like. So I was talking with Isaiah and I said, I think it would be great to do a little video about the kinds of things that maybe you could pass to a girlfriend or a boyfriend or mom or dad, whatever it is. And if you're a watch lover, pass this on to them and say, I would love number 2, 6, and 8 on this list. So we have put together 12 items, 12 days of Christmas. Why don't we get into it?
All right, great. Can't wait to see what you got on there, man.
All right, this first item is the RSM. That is a really, really cool leather. They call it a WIS kit. So you know what WIS stands for?
No, why don't you enlighten me, please?
It's a phrase I actually don't like to use. It's watch idiot savant. So it's a kind of a geek name for watch enthusiasts who perhaps they're not really knowledgeable about anything else, but they know everything about watches. And
it's quite derogatory, but okay.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. So I myself don't use that term. I'm not slamming anyone who does. If you're a YouTuber and you do that, do your thing just for me. But anyway, this is a great kit that I found on Bob's channel at Time to Go. He did a video on it, I think last week. There's $190 leather version. And there is I think it's around $140 canvas, wax canvas and leather version, which looks really cool. So it's got all these pouches for watches, places for straps, places for tools. And I just thought that would be something I would definitely like to see under the tree.
It's pretty neat looking. It looks very high quality from the pictures. It's really nice. I'm the kind of guy that likes a display of my watches. So, and I know the traveling aspect of it. This is one of those problems being a watch enthusiast is that you end up, alongside with the watches and all the other stuff you get, you end up like not really using it for what it's supposed to be used for. Mm-hmm. So it's an awesome gift and it looks high quality. But my question is, are you going to travel with that many watches, straps, and tools to lug around with you?
Oh my man, you have no idea.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm just investigating practicality here.
I went away for a weekend last summer and I brought 4 watches with me.
I can see that. I can see that because it's you.
And I brought 3 straps and a changing tool. All in my Dan Henry watch roll, sorry.
So how many watches? 4?
4 watches.
3 straps.
I had
7 watches.
I had one on my wrist. I had 3 in a watch roll, some straps, and a watch tool.
Okay.
So you're just getting into it, man. Trust me.
Okay.
The paranoia, not the paranoia. The what is it called? The psychosis goes deep.
I can see it. I mean, I know if I'm away and I'm the kind of guy that may not wear the same watch 2-3 days in a row, I would bring an extra watch. But
yeah, choices,
man.
Yeah. Oh, hey, by the way, we never did a wrist check. So I'm wearing this. I'm wearing this Flieger watch that you've seen before from Long Island Watch. I'm wearing it because I'm at home. As you can see, it's comfortable here. It's a very comfortable watch to wear. And this has been on a watch winder for 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to check the accuracy because I wore it for 3 days and I checked the accuracy over 3 days. This thing is gaining 1 second a day.
Wow.
It's a NH35 that's gaining 1 second a day. So wow. I got a miracle NH35.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's that Flieger with the super loom.
Yeah.
Back the dial is loomed, right?
Yeah. It's
The
it
Type
glows at
B. Yeah,
night.
that's a nice watch, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What are you wearing?
I've got on this Zanto Officer Field Watch. You know, I love the field watch. It's my
Yeah.
third field watch in this type design, case design with the wire lugs. It's got a date complication and the sub dial for seconds. I caught this one on a Black Friday. Been eyeing it for a while, and man, I got 50% off. So I actually paid under $200 for this
Oh,
lovely
wow.
thing. Yeah.
What's the movement in
Um,
that?
yeah, no disappointment. I've owned previous Zontos. I really like the style of their watches. And, to add another field watch, I really am in love with this case design.
Yeah.
It's probably, of all the watches, I literally have 3 watches with this type of case design. So,
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that style too. So what's the movement in that watch?
it's the Japanese Miyoda, the 820, the 82XX, I always say, because you
Yeah.
never know what you're getting
8
there.
series. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's a standard movement. It's not not it's not the Cadillac, but definitely a workhorse.
Yep. Well,
Um,
$200. What can you expect, right? That's a
yeah,
good deal.
exactly. Yeah, it doesn't have the bells and whistles. I've gotten other watches in the price range with sapphire. It's a mineral crystal, but again, for 200, less than $200, it was actually a steal. Consider 50% off. I wasn't purchasing it at full price, but with 50% off, hey, I'll take that.
Yeah. Very good. Let's go to number 2 on our list of 12. This is one that I added to the list, Barton watch bands, because I'm a huge fan of these things. And I was thinking about how I've got 3 or 4 of these floating around, but I have various watches in various sizes. There's so many different colors, whether it's the canvas, whether it's the rubber. I don't think you could go wrong if you were a wife or a girlfriend or a boyfriend and you went on Barton's website, just bought a bunch of 20 and 22 millimeter straps in different colors, put them in the stocking. They're 27, 28 bucks. You could probably find them cheaper if you really look for a sale. I think it's a great stocking stuffer. What do you think?
Yeah, Barton, what they do is phenomenal. They have a wide variety of straps. They're high quality, especially the canvas straps, the silicone straps. I own a few myself. I probably own about 4 or 5, the same. Barton, I really dig their sailcloth straps. Again, like you stated before, the options are, endless. They go all the way from 16 millimeters up to 24 millimeters. Obviously you can't go wrong if your wife doesn't understand millimeter sizes, but that aside, and then the fact that everyone has the easy remove, you don't need a tool to take these straps off either. Every single one, is just a push pin. So
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
If and sometimes, if you're like me and you're bringing straps with you while traveling, you put them in your whisk kit and you can change them back in 10 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. It's they're awesome quality. Can't complain about Barton. What they do, it's phenomenal, because there's a lot. You and I both know there's a lot of expensive bands out there.
There really is. Number 3 on our list. There we go.
The single pouch. So I like the single pouch, and the reason was I typically little bit like you, I guess, but not, I don't carry 5 watches and a giant case with tools on travels. But what I do is I travel with 2 watches pretty much every day. I carry a beater and a nice watch. So, I tend to keep one. I don't have one of these pouches yet. I did order one, but I change clothes. I work with my hands a lot, aside from my time sitting in the office. So when I'm busy, I will switch watches from what I wore coming in. I'll commute, and what I'm wearing with my if I'm going to the bar after work or something, I have a nicer watch with me, and my beater watch is with me in my pocket. So I change uniforms and change watches. And, depending on what your beater watch is and your nice watches, you want to keep it protected. You don't want to scratch it. You don't want to scratch the steel. You don't want to scratch the metal. You don't want to scratch the glass. And I really thought this is great for a person like me that may change watches during the day, to carry that extra watch with not taking up too much bulk.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And if it's not this brand, the there's so many. I got a great watch pod from Vario, and it's got a little space for an extra strap or two, as long as it's, you know, small and foldable. And
I have the pod too. I have one of the pods, but the pods tend to be a little hard, so they're round and they'll take up space in your bag. What I liked about this was it's like a sleeve, so it's almost like carrying a letter with you.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you can slip it on the inside pocket with no bulk.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. I like it. It's a great idea. Number 4 is the Valet Tray. I actually sent this link to my wife last night. I don't think she's going to order me one. But I'd really like, there's a few different variations. This one says horologically certified watch geek, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
And it's $24 US. And then the neat thing is you can see how it folds out when you unbutton it. And no, I'm always putting a cloth down, or I grab a watch roll when I'm going to size a bracelet or whatever it might be, change the strap. I never put it right down on the table. This is fantastic. Throw it on your bedside so you can throw your watch in at night. Whatever else, if you wear bracelets or whatever it is, toss them in there. Yeah. What do you think?
I saw this one when we were speaking about, you know, creating this list, and I looked it up, and I didn't realize on initial review that, or initial seeing, that it had opened up like that until I explored the website. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. Because like you said, when you're changing straps and whatnot, one of my biggest problems, which, you know, I've alleviated by using cloth or a handkerchief or something like that, is your spring bars tend to roll off if you've got a wooden table, whatever, they'll fly, whatever.
Yes.
But when I saw this one flip and it had the felt side on it, I was like, oh, those spring bars aren't going to roll off. They don't have the, you know, there's too much friction for them to roll. So I really like this. I like the fact that it flips over and, you know, it changes, and it's also a valet tray. So it's, you know, it's a nice little inexpensive stocking stuffer with great value to it.
Yeah. So we have things on this list that are expensive, some that are cheaper. Here's one that I know that you added to the list. What do you think? What do you think of this? Why'd you add this to the list?
Well, you, like I, have a lot of extra watch bands. I mean, I must have, I don't know, 30 watch bands over, you know, and there's really no neat way that I've seen. You know, there's jewelry boxes and they'll have a drawer, but there's no neat way to really keep your watch bands and keep them, you know, without getting messed up, or keep them without without it being just a general overall pile of straps, rather than, you know, having little baggies for each one and all of that stuff. So I saw this and I was like, you know, we always keep cases for our watches. We've got our watches on display and all that. I like this because you can travel or just keep it somewhere, you know, in a drawer with your strap and one changing, you know, one tool inside. You know, and it kept your straps nice, and it's not too bad for the, you know, what it is. I think it carries 10 straps plus the tool, and I don't see much emphasis on this aspect of the watch collection. Like, not too many storages for straps alone. So this one kind of caught my eye. What about you?
Yeah, man, this is something I'd love to see under the tree. I have a jewelry box type thing, and I stick them in, but I can't really see. I can see the skinny part. I can't really see what the strap is. So I'm always trying to pull them out. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Now, I have more than 20 straps. This holds 10. But here's the honest truth, and I think a lot of people might relate to this. There's probably 10 that I cycle through that I really like. And then I have 30 or 40 that they're okay. I wear for a couple days, but they're not favorites.
Yeah. So, well, I have like the NATO straps, which I probably wouldn't dream to put in here. And, you know, like in that same vein that you're saying, I have a drawer where I'm stacked side by side and I only see the sides.
Yeah.
But as soon as I pull one out, because of the tightness,
it pulls them all out.
Right. So, so that was initially what I thought about this. And then there's the fact that I just have the NATO straps pretty much with a rubber band around them, you know, there's a stack of NATOs that thick. So.
I like this. I would put my 10 favorite straps that I'm not currently using on a watch.
Right.
Put it in there. You got your tool there. Throw it in a drawer. Make it so easy. You could tuck a nice polishing cloth just between the watches. And
Absolutely.
I love it. Yeah. Let's check out number 6 of 12. So I'm not recommending this particular box. I just really liked it. I thought it was cool. Well,
it's beautiful.
And I know that you've bought on Etsy before. I don't think I may have bought something for my wife a few years ago on Etsy, but there's so many cool watch boxes that aren't your carbon cutout Amazon press board boxes. And I thought if you really wanted to wow someone in your life that's a watch enthusiast, even if they have a watch box, if you put something like this under the tree that's unique, maybe it has their initials engraved because they often have that.
Yes.
You know, you can spend $50, you can spend $300-400. You can get something nice within those price ranges. I think a lot of people would dig that. What do you think?
I absolutely adore Etsy. Etsy's probably one of my favorite sites to shop on. It's all small businesses. It's a lot of handcrafted stuff. And one of the things I really appreciate about Etsy is your interaction with the shop owner and their ability to customize absolutely everything. I've been shopping with Etsy since the beginning. My daughter, I bought her jewelry on there, had her name engraved on it, which is not that spectacular, but I've also had zipper pulls with her name written and rainbow unicorns and all that done, you know, from the simplest of things. I've had my significant other gotten her rings that you would never find in a jewelry store, things that are like armor type, you know, with a hinge on it, you know, beautiful, beautiful handmade things. And as you know, I shop for a lot of straps on here. When you brought this box out, I was like, this is amazing. I love the woodwork on it, you know, the way it's done. I can't tell if it's trees or just the cracking of the wood, but that's some of the beauty in it, you know, like I can tell it's trees now, but it's almost like it may not be trees, you know, and it's just a beautiful wood. It's a beautiful inlay to it. And for something like this, I think because you're able to communicate with the owner, like you don't have to get these burlap sack pillows. You can actually maybe say, hey, can I get something pretty, or don't include the pillows, and I'll leave that to you later.
Yeah, we've got something to solve that issue.
Exactly.
Let's go to number 7. So I've seen a few reviews. I know my buddy Dave at Just the Watch. Just the Watch. There's just one more watch, and there's Dave at Just the Watch. I know I'm pretty sure he was the one who reviewed this. These are $85 US. So they're expensive straps. They're sailcloth straps, but they're kind of an elite tier of sailcloth strap. And I bet there's a lot of watch lovers who would love something like this, but probably just don't want to spend the money on themselves. For me, Christmas and the holidays, Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating, is about getting a gift for someone that they probably wouldn't get themselves. When you're an adult, right? Like you could just go and buy whatever you want, but then you go, okay, well, I got bills to pay and the kids need this and there's braces to pay for and whatever. So when it comes to buying a gift for my wife, I think, what is it that she would love, but just wouldn't spend the money on? And this is kind of one of those things for me. I probably would love this, but I wouldn't spend $85 US, which for me is like 120, 130 Canadian.
Right.
Dollars.
Yeah. That's it. It's an expensive strap. It is very nice looking. It's high tier. The Tang buckle design is pretty awesome. It's got a really nice look to it. But again, like you said, you know, it's in a higher range. But I agree with you. You know, Christmas is that time when, or you know, any holiday of this time period is in general to get that loved one something that they normally wouldn't buy themselves, because absolutely, we're adults. It's not like we can't just buy our own things what we like, but it's nice to see someone cares and actually get you something you want and something that's up your alley without having to ask you.
Yeah. And then, I mean, we're just talking about Etsy. If it's not a sailcloth strap like this, maybe you contact someone on Etsy and you spend 80 or $100 on a really nice, custom made Horween Chromexial leather strap or something like that.
Yes.
Their names engraved or stamped or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like there's just so many options.
We've seen straps on Etsy where there were, you know, actually designs inside of them where you could request what you wanted on them. You know, it doesn't just have to be initials. You can have that same tree oak-like look on that box on the strap.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
I want to get a custom strap that has HPB for Half Past Blog. You know,
that's nice.
Just on the part where I can see it, you know, right up here.
Right there. Yeah, right there.
All right, let's go to number 8. This one's for you, buddy.
Yeah, that's from Tell Your Time. You know Vinny, Tell Your Time. He does these contests every Friday with these really, nice watch shots. I've been a participant. He actually sent me one of his NATO straps as a participant of one of those contests.
Nice.
Uh, Really, he's out in Australia, so shipping to the U.S. is a bit of a chore in a sense, but his quality. I used to love NATO straps. You kind of turned me off to them. It's your fault,
Sorry.
but but his NATO strap was like such high quality and so nice that I was really impressed. He sells a lot of high quality items. He doesn't have a big shop. He doesn't have a lot of things, but one of the things I did notice was these really cool elastic straps.
I love the elastic straps. I'm not a NATO fan, but I like elastic. Yeah.
Yeah. And just judging by the quality of his NATO strap, I can only imagine that this is really up there in caliber, and it's something I would love to have. So this is one of those items I think is worth, getting under your tree or in your stocking. What do you think about it?
Yeah. I love straps, as you know, and all I want to say is it Vinny you said?
Yeah, Benny, it's Tell Your Time. Yeah.
Hey, Vinny, you want to send me some straps? I'll be happy to review them. And Isaiah would be happy to have one too. I give a shout out along the same vein for Haviston. They make great straps that are really quality. A lot of single pass. They've got some NATOs, unique colors, really just a tier above what a lot of other companies are doing. But I mean, there's so many companies out there that, Tell Your Time's a great one. There's so many out there you could choose from.
Yeah, I think with the straps, like you said, there's so many to choose from, but there's the vein of price and then the vein of quality. And I find with, NATO straps don't tend to be high quality. I could probably make a NATO strap with my pocket knife in a few minutes at this point. But, if you tend to land on one and, some people won't take the risk and the investment. We've gone through this, should I pay for that? Should I get this strap? It's so much money. What if I don't like it? Yeah. And, when you have a company like this that you can give them, some props and let people know that they're worth the investment in, it's always a good thing, especially around the holidays.
Absolutely. All right. Now, this is something that I just released a video on a couple days ago, and I'm really excited about them. My watch box has never looked better. They're $5, but I think there's a 20% discount when you buy 10.
Okay.
Or more. They made 5 of each color, so they will sell out. The proceeds go to, the people who make them are actually visually impaired. And so it's an organization that helps people who with visual impairment to work and have fulfillment and make money, which is great. And I'm like, so $50 minus 20% for 10 of these pillows. Yeah, I'm in. I love it. What do you think?
I think I'm about to order some of these myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw your video the other day. I didn't get a chance to comment. I was a bit, I've been tied up the last few days, but that's irrelevant. Yeah. But these pillows, just the color on them, was amazing. The fact that they were done by visually, impaired people to have so much pop is amazing in itself. The donation, anybody who knows me knows I like to purchase or donate a lot to some good causes, or enter raffles that are for good causes. And this one looks like, it's the gift that just gives, in many different ways. I think it's a value in itself in that aspect. Giving this to someone is also giving to someone else unconsciously, so I think it's a great gift. And for any watch lover to not want one of these, I mean, that blue plaid one is like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I think anyone who reached into their stocking and pulled out 6 or 10 of these. So if you're watching this and you're not a watch enthusiast, all you do is go to your person's watch box and count how many slots they have and just buy one for each. Or you can buy, 8 of one color.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever works for you. I went with the multicolored, but maybe you want a little more sophisticated. It's up to you. All right, number 10. So this is a tool that I put on. It's kind of the Cadillac, as you say, of spring bar tools, the Bergeon. There's a bunch of different models. The tips are all replaceable, which is great. I guess people must break them. I don't know how you would. If you're breaking your tool, what are you doing to the watch? That's all I'm thinking. Let me know in comments. You know, if you've broken one of these, let me know how you did that. I'd like to know.
I will chime in, but I'll let you talk about that first. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
So I had an experience with one of my higher end tools, which happened with the Casios we had talked about in our last video, which I told you was such a pain to remove the links. And I didn't break it, but I did bend the end that you use to push, you know, when you have a drilled out spring lugs. That piece bent while I was trying to push, not knowing how hard that Casio steel was.
Okay.
So, you know, I can see sometimes, you know, and I didn't damage the watch in any way. I damaged my tool.
That says something about Casio. Good on them.
Yeah, especially that I thought it was such a cheap watch. But
I lost 84 subscribers after that video. Thanks.
Oh, that's all my fault.
I'm kidding. I think I lost one. But I mean, it was probably related to my poor content, not the content of that video.
Oh, geez. No, well, but I do love this tool. The fact that it has replaceable, you know, ends is awesome. I think, you know, I would even go as far to venture that I would like to replace both ends with just a pry bar on one of those, you know, because sometimes you're flipping, you know, you pick up the wrong end or whatever.
I've done that so many times. Especially I have terrible eyesight, and there's not a lot of great lighting around here. Like, why can't I catch it? Oh, I got the pointer end.
Yeah.
So yeah, one of the reasons I want this on the list is because it depends where you're shopping. It's like $20 to $30 or more dollars, depending on the model. But again, this is kind of the top of the line spring bar tool. I asked for one last year. I think it was 15 or 20 bucks. My wife got it for me. I believe it may have been Watch Gecko. I don't remember. It's a really nice one. It's doing the job for me. But this is kind of the top tier, another splurge that maybe your watch enthusiast friend would enjoy.
Yeah.
Number 11. Now, we both suggested that we needed a repair kit.
Yeah.
This is, again, Bergeon. This is a really expensive repair kit. Is it worth it? I don't know. I don't own it. But I just wanted to put it up there as, you know, the higher level. I got one on Amazon for, I think, $15. And I've already gotten my money's worth out of it. It has done the job with sizing bracelets, taking off case backs. I don't know if this is worth the money, but, you know, again, if you're splurging on something, this is definitely the one to splurge on.
Yeah, I mean, these things run the gamut, as you know, from, you know, $15, like you said. I've seen ones for $1,000, literally. $9.99, and I'm like, what is in that tool set that is making it worth?
That's not even on my radar. Are they gold? Are they platinum? What's going on here?
So, personally, you know, I think the one I sent was an Esslinger mid-range $79, $80 one. You put up the $200 one. I kind of was going for a mid-range, so I didn't, want to price anyone out when I had picked it. But this one has the nicer case. You know, you have a detailed legend of all the tools that are included on it, and what they're used for. So I really like that aspect of this case particularly. The fact that everything sits in its own tray, it's a really nice case. Now, as to usefulness of it, again, it's a real personal question. I think much like watches are. I'm a real DIY guy. I have one of those like $20, $17 cases that I got off of Amazon, full of tools. It's definitely gotten its use worth out of it. Like you said, adjusting bracelets, replacing batteries on quartz watches, changing out a multitude of things. The question is quality of tools, though. I will say that, as a person that is, what was the acronym from earlier?
WIS.
The WIS,
Yeah,
right.
WIS.
Right. I'm not one of those because I don't know only a lot about watches. I tend to know a lot about a lot of different things, right? So
That's the opposite of a whiz. Yeah.
right. So,
Jack of all trades, master of none, as my dad would say.
exactly. And, as a real mechanical guy, I've done work on, everything from, steam turbines, giant steam turbines to obviously my small little watches and whatever was in between with my own tool. There is something to be said about quality of tools. And I think that's where the price difference comes in. Whereas, yes, we may get the same set of tools at a cheaper price. There is something to be said about quality.
I'm already looking at the case back removal tool, and I can tell it's way better than the one I had.
Yes.
The one I had slipped a number of times. I had to be very careful. I was using it on a $200 watch, so I wasn't too worried.
Right.
But if I had a nice expensive watch, I had a Breitling or a Rolex or a Tudor or whatever.
Yep.
I'd want to use the right tool for that.
Absolutely.
My dad's a mechanic, or he was before he retired. And what he always taught me was you don't buy the cheapest tool and you don't buy the most expensive tool. The sweet spot is kind of somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
And so maybe your kit would be better than this. I don't know.
No, I agree. But again, I think this one falls in that middle range. I don't think it's, again, I've seen things for $9.99. So.
Insane. And number 12, I put this on here because, hit my camera. It looks so nice. I would never spend this money. And honestly, I'd be kind of upset if my wife spent this money on me. But it's just so really nice looking. And because I don't travel enough to need a $440 watch roll.
Yeah.
But man, it's pretty, isn't it?
It is. I personally am not a big fan of the watch roll. I know people love them and they're popular and they're, but I'm a minimal packer kind of guy. I like my things square and that they can fit into a neat space.
A ninja has to travel light.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's beautiful. The craftsmanship on this is amazing. I can see it. It's just from the pictures alone there. It's a beautiful piece of work. You have to appreciate that type of craftsmanship. And if it's somebody that's really special to you, it's, I think it's absolutely worth it. But again, when you're dealing with this range of pricing, your watch range is in a much higher tier, right? So, my most expensive watch is probably $1,000. So, no way I'm spending that much on just the case.
Yeah, exactly. I could have my Timex M79 in there.
Correct.
Bucks less or more than the.
Right. This is for the guy who's got a Breitling, a Rolex, and an Oris in there. It's not,
So there you go. You never know. There could be someone watching this that is at that level. That's not where you and I are at, but there's lots of people out there who collect, nothing but high-end, top-tier watches.
Yeah. What I do love about this thing is it reminds me of whiskey for some reason.
It does.
Yeah. I prefer if you spent the $440 on a bottle of scotch. If anyone's listening.
Let me tell you a story. So my wife says, I really want to buy my sister and brother-in-law a nice bottle of scotch. So she goes and orders it online. And she said it's a Macallan 12 and it's 65 Canadian dollars. I said, I think it's more like 110, 120 bucks. Like it's one of my favorites. So I've ordered that for her. She's like, no, it's $60. I'm like, you sure it's a 12? Yeah. Okay. Well, she gets it yesterday, and it's just like tiny little bottle.
Tiny bottle, yeah.
It wasn't a mini, but it was at least half the size of a full bottle.
Yeah,
and she came in holding it. She was laughing. She said, "I can't give this to them." I said, whiskey goes a long way. Gift. That's a good night for the two of them right there.
Yeah, it went from a primo gift to a stocking stuffer.
I'd rather have a $60 small bottle of Macallan than, a full-size Glenfiddich or something any day.
Yeah, I hear you. I've got a Macallan, I think it was a 14 that I got on my birthday this year. And, man, that stuff was delicious. It was, it was delicious. Yeah. Most of it ended up in the toilet. I drank a little too much, but Macallans.
Well, on that note, Merry Christmas, my friend.
Merry Christmas, Alton.
I don't think that we're going to get a chance to do this again until 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this will be our last or 2021. So this will be our last for 2020.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of
And
fun, man. It's been great doing this with you.
it's been awesome. I appreciate you having me on all these times, and I look forward to doing this some more. I do agree. We're probably gonna have to do this in 2021. With New Year will come new things, so we'll get some fun times. To the audience, I'd love to know your comments. Anything you like that stood out to you in particular on this list. So
Yeah, and that's a great point. Maybe there's a lot of things that weren't on this list. So if you've got it, put in the comments, because people will read those comments looking for more ideas.
yeah, definitely. All right, Alton, thank you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all your fans at Half Past Blog.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. And thanks to all of you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can make that my Christmas present this year.